All right, we're skipping the usual intro today and diving straight into an explainer on a tech that is literally dismantling how we think about knowledge work. We're talking about a massive shift in AI, moving from systems that just talk to you to systems that actually do the work.
Imagine this. You open your laptop, but not to start a task. You open it to review the finished product your AI built while you were fast asleep. Sounds totally sci-fi, right? Well, that is the exact promise of this new generation of AI. We are officially leaving the era where you have to hold an AI's hand, feeding it prompt after prompt just to get one simple document drafted.
So we're rapidly shifting from conversational bots that just spit out instructions over to agentic AI. And a perfect example of this is Manus. It literally takes over your mouse, your keyboard, and your browser to execute complex workflows from start to finish. Think of conversational AI like a consultant who, tells you how to analyze some data, but agentic AI, that's the employee who actually downloads the data, runs the analysis, builds the charts, and drops the final polished report right into your inbox.
Section 1. The Autonomous Agent Era. Launched in March 2025 by a Chinese startup called Monica.im, Manus essentially acts as a digital employee. It translates your high-level goals directly into concrete actions. It's designed to be a completely general-purpose agent. You just give it a multi-step objective, and it goes off and runs in the background on cloud servers. You don't even need to keep your browser open. It completely bridges that gap between your initial intent and the final, tangible action, totally unsupervised.
Section 2. How Manus actually works.
Okay, let's look under the hood. Instead of relying on one single monolithic brain trying to do everything at once, Manus uses what's called a multi-agent architecture. Basically, it builds a mini digital team for every single prompt. First up, a planner agent strategizes and breaks down the task. Then, an execution agent takes over, navigating software and the web. And finally, a verification agent double-checks the work for accuracy before handing it off to you. And the best part? It all happens safely inside a secure, cloud-based sandbox.
Now here's a really crucial point. Monica.im didn't actually build a massive new foundation model from scratch. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Instead, Manus leverages Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is already famous for its incredible hybrid reasoning, and it pairs it with a whopping 29 specialized tools. Tools to navigate the web, write code, manipulate files, the whole shebang. It is honestly a masterclass in combining an existing, powerful model with brilliant tooling.
And it pulls off this execution through a super fascinating set of tools. It has a browser operator that functions right as an extension, securely using your active tabs and local logins to just breeze past CAPTCHAs. For broader research, it spins up an isolated cloud browser. But okay, what's really wild is the newly integrated Google Workspace CLI. This lets Manus surgically reply to specific comments or edit precise spreadsheet cells, leaving the rest of your document completely untouched. It's not just clumsily overriding files, it's acting with literal developer-level precision.
Section 3. Beating the tech giants.
To put all this power into perspective, let's talk about the Gaia benchmark for general AI assistance. It's a rigorous test where human baseline scores are usually around 92%, while GPT-4 with plugins, it scored only 15%. But Manus? It has reportedly achieved absolute state-of-the-art dominance here. It even outperformed OpenAI's deep research across all difficulty levels. And that's because its tool-using capabilities are baked right into its core architecture, not just slapped on as an afterthought.
When we look at the broader landscape, Manus's deeply integrated tool usage creates a much more seamless, autonomous experience compared to stuff like Anthropic's computer use or OpenAI's operator. Anthropic relies really heavily on API integrations, and OpenAI's operator, while super capable, is heavily sandboxed. Manus kind of hits the sweet spot. It bridges the gap by operating directly in your local browser for authenticated sessions, while simultaneously utilizing Linux sandboxes for all the heavy lifting.
Section 4. Real-world industry applications. Because of its multimodal capabilities, meaning, it can process text, images, and code all at once, Manus is already making waves in the real world. In healthcare, it can read medical imaging right alongside patient histories to help with really complex diagnostics. Over in finance, it can autonomously rebalance a portfolio based on live sentiment that it scrapes from earnings calls. Or in a factory setting, it can analyze subtle vibration patterns in a motor to manage predictive maintenance long before a machine ever actually breaks down.
And on a day-to-day level, it is out there executing tasks that would normally take human workers hours, if not days. We're talking about hunting down B2B suppliers from the YCW25 database and organizing them into clean, structured tables. It's pulling raw data from Amazon stores to build interactive dashboards.
It's even reviewing dense legal contracts from start to finish just to highlight any inconsistencies for you. It doesn't just draft an email, it does all the exhausting research required to write the email in the first place.
Section 5. Limitations and security risks.
All right, to keep this explainer completely objective, we have to talk about the stark realities here. Handing the keys over to an autonomous system is risky, and it is definitely not infallible. Giving an AI access to sensitive HIPAA medical records, proprietary business data, or live financial accounts, that poses massive security vulnerabilities. Plus, the reasoning process is often an opaque black box. And yes, even with its internal verification agent, the AI still hallucinates. If it scrapes bad data from the web, it's going to confidently give you a bad output. Not to mention, running heavy models like Claude 3.7 continuously in the background racks up massive computational cloud costs.
Section 6. Pricing and the future.
So speaking of those costs, Manus uses a tiered pricing structure to manage all that heavy compute. It starts with a pretty restrictive free plan that gives you 300 daily credits on a light model, then it moves up to pro tiers at $20 or $40 a month, unlocking thousands of credits and up to 20 concurrent tasks. For enterprises, there's a team tier at $20 a seat that adds single sign-on and absolutely crucially, the ability to opt out of data training so company privacy is actually protected. Oh, and you can grab a 17% discount if you bill annually.
Now look, whenever we talk about autonomous digital employees, the conversation always turns to job security. But as the creators of Manus have explicitly emphasized, the immediate future really isn't about replacing humans. It is entirely about augmenting us by just eliminating the friction of all those tedious digital chores. Think of it as the ultimate smart intern.
The era of the autonomous agent isn't just some theoretical concept anymore. It's literally right here, operating in our browsers and spreadsheets as we speak. By offloading these complex, multi-step tasks to systems like ManusStep, we are reclaiming massive amounts of our own time. Which leaves us with one final, profound question to consider about the future of our productivity. When your digital employee works flawlessly while you sleep, what exactly are you going to do with your waking hours?